talk about the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are another team that I kind of whiffed on in the offseason. I felt the Titans would be about an 8-8 football team. They lost a couple of key players in free agency. And really, I just wanted to see Ryan Tannehill go out there and put together back-to-back great seasons. And I got to say, Ryan Tannehill has done that. And the Titans, they are proving me wrong. They're not going to finish 8-8. Barring injury, if this team stays relatively healthy, they're about a 10 or 12 win football team. They'll win anywhere from 10 to 12 games. They really will. They're very good. They're a very talented team, and they're a team that is a legit Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. They're a Super Bowl 55 contender this season. They can go out there and win Super Bowl 55. It is possible. Will it happen? Probably not, because there's a lot of good teams out there. You know, you look at the Chiefs, you look at the Steelers, you look at Green Bay, you look at Seattle, you look at Tampa Bay. The Titans are not quite as good as those teams, in my opinion, but Tennessee, they're really, really good. And they easily could win the Super Bowl this year, just because last year we saw Tennessee get to the AFC title game, and this year, this version of the Tennessee Titans are better than last year's, in my opinion. By the way, I got to give a lot of credit to Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is probably the best head coach in the NFL that no one talks about. Everyone talks about Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, even Sean McDermott to a certain degree. People think that he's underrated in Buffalo. He is very underrated in my opinion, but Mike Vrabel might be a little bit more underrated at the moment. You know, Mike Vrabel, no one brings him up when we talk about the best head coaches in football. And Mike Vrabel, at worst right now, is a very good Tier 2 head coach. And if he gets the Titans to a Super Bowl this year, we might have to start putting Mike Vrabel in the Tier 1 category. Because this guy, he's a very good defensive-minded head coach. He gets the most out of his players. And I think the guy knows a thing or two about offense. He's a great motivator. He does sometimes make some questionable decisions. But Mike Vrabel, he's a very good head coach that does not get enough appreciation. Once that trash can, that no good, sorry quarterback, Marcus Mariota, left the building, the Titans, they took off. And you have to give Mike Vrabel a lot of credit, because a lot of Titans fans were kind of upset that Marcus Mariota got benched. And, well, it turns out that Mike Vrabel made the right decision, because Ryan Tannehill, ever since he inserted him into the starting lineup, Ryan Tannehill has taken off as a quarterback. Ryan Tannehill, he's officially arrived, man. He really has. Last year, Ryan Tannehill led the NFL in passer rating. Last year, Ryan Tannehill had 22 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. And he is picking up right where he left off last season. In fact, in the last 15 games, Ryan Tannehill as a starter is 12-3 overall as far as the record. So he's winning football games. He's completing 70% of his passes. He's thrown for 35 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. And the perception about Ryan Tannehill continues to be, well, he's a game manager. He's okay. No. Ryan Tannehill is playing MVP level football as we speak today. And by the way, Derrick Henry, that dude's a monster. Derrick Henry might be the best running back in all of football as we speak today. I know everyone gets enamored with Christian McCaffrey. I know everyone gets enamored with Alvin Kamara and Saquon Barkley. Give me the guy that dominates. Give me a guy that can take the soul of opposing defenses. Give me a guy that just runs over people. Give me a guy that in the playoffs took over the game versus Baltimore. Give me a guy that recently had an 84-yard touchdown run versus, not an 84-yard touchdown run, a 94-yard touchdown run, pardon me. He ran for 94 yards last week versus Tennessee for a touchdown. People say that Derrick Henry is not the fastest running back in the world. I disagree. I think Derrick Henry has very underrated speed, and we already know he's very hard to tackle. A.J. Brown continues to be one of my favorite wide receivers in the entire NFL. I'm so disappointed my Green Bay Packers did not draft him. I'm very disappointed. Corey Davis is a good wide receiver. Jonnu Smith is a good tight end. Adam Humphries, he continues to be a good player. Now, the one thing I will say about Tennessee is they haven't really proven anything yet. They do have to play Pittsburgh this week. I'm very interested to see how they fare versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a very good team. We'll see how they truly fare versus a really, really good team, because so far, the Titans have beaten Denver, they've beaten Jacksonville, they've beaten Minnesota, they've beaten Buffalo, and they've beaten Houston. Out of all of those teams, Buffalo's the best one. And I've not been impressed with the Buffalo Bills. I just have not, okay? So I want to see how the Tennessee Titans fare versus the Steelers. But outside of playing, not great competition, the Titans check a lot of boxes, man. And honestly, I won't be shocked if we see the Tennessee Titans playing a team like Kansas City or Pittsburgh in an AFC title game this year, because the Tennessee Titans, led by Mike Vrabel, led by Derrick Henry, and led by Ryan Tannehill, who no one wants to give credit to, they're pretty darn good, and everyone needs to keep their eyes on the Tennessee Titans because they definitely are a team that could get to a Super Bowl potentially in 2020. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.